The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LGA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, past a moonlit state lamp, will it be so right on?
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Are you ready? What your broadcasting experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
I am here. Welcome, everybody. This is Glenn Larry. I bid you welcome from anywhere you're at, any time zone that you may be listening to the show. And to all my late night drivers out there, ham operators, and may I say, Cybanders, 73s to you out there, the Silent Key, Whiskey 60 Baker. As you know, you might know who that might be. And K6RCL and Galita, we say hello to him also. He's listening to the show right now. And to all my affiliates out there, small broadcasters, small stations, small LPFMs and LPAMs.net. They're listening out there also. And to, of course, I want to say hello to my friends over there in Avondale that are listening. And they love the show. And we love to have them listen to Fire guys, man. Station 23. We love you guys. Great people. I'll tell you for sure. We're broadcasting on Apple Podcast, also Google Podcast, iHeart, Archer, Twitter, Spotify, Speakler, Reverb Nation, and also StreamYard, Facebook, YouTube. We ask you please subscribe on YouTube for us and like us. It's just a reminder, keeps our numbers up and keeps the algorithm working on what have you, those little computer robots and what have you. Yes, tonight's show's going to be a lot of fun. I've had a real busy week, and I hope your week has been good. Tonight's show is going to be about crystal skulls. And before I get into that, though, I want to mention, of course, in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas UFO capital of the world. What do you think about that? Well, you see, the aliens have been seen in the backyards of some folks, and of course, body cam from some Metro police officers of a UFO dropping down from the sky. It was blue, and it was also kind of a sharp silver green, maybe. And a lot of folks have seen that. And I'm going to put those pictures up right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Really cool stuff. I'm glad I'm living in the time I'm living because I'm seeing some really cool stuff in my years here. This is what was seen, as you can see right here. All right. That's the sphere, more or less, kind of looked like a teardrop almost. And then, of course, this was another one that was off the body cam of the Metro officer. And I believe this was over a house. Yeah, there we go, over this house. And it dropped quite fast. And if you see, you can get on YouTube and what have you on these websites, and you can see these really cool pictures, And yeah, I'm with you all too. I want to believe also, but yeah, they say they were tall, 8 to 10 feet. That's pretty tall. And well, they were skinny, big eyes. Eyes were silver, black, gray-green color. It was quite frightful for these guys, of course. And this is what they told them. And of course, some believe them, some don't. I tend to want to believe them because I want aliens to land here. I want this move on here. Let's make things happen, But as I look back at this, I did some research on the circle that was on the ground. Apparently, that had been there for a couple years prior to the crash landing, maybe of this UFO. Now they did hear a big bang and a thump, and it really rattled. So gosh, who knows really at this point? But well, hopefully we'll find out more. And of course, the whistleblower, a military whistleblower. This guy's incredible. He is a retired, highly decorated officer, and his whole thing was about these UFOs, these UAPs, are non-human origin. Well, does that mean these UFOs, these aliens, are maybe controlling the ships and what have you? But he's on the crash team, and it's a big thing. It's a secret team that goes around and picks up these wrecked UFOs and recovers them, the recovering program. Well, we need that. They're here. They've always been here. And like I say, I want to believe. And I don't know how you feel about that, but these are interesting times that we're living in, I'll tell you for sure. Now, let's get into tonight's program. Crystal skulls. Now I have Greg, and Greg, are you on the line? Do I have you there, buddy? You there, buddy? Are you there?
Thank you for having us. Yes.
Well, Greg, it's nice, and your wife is it KRISTI? KRISTI? Is that KRISTI? Okay. And now,
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, God, I hope you were out there. I was kind of hope she was in the room. You guys have a unique life going on and interesting things that you do. I understand you've been all over the world. And these crystal skulls and artifacts that you've gotten are really something. I mean, I've read about the crystal skulls, and they give off a lot of energy and a lot of stuff. But I want you to please tell me what made you get started in this whole thing, and what's it all about, so these listeners can understand.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, my pleasure.
Great opportunity to share about these crystal skulls.
We got started when Greg started finding beautiful high-frequency crystals, and they were emitting such a frequency that it drew us into the journey of finding these crystal skulls. The people that have been holding them in Mexico actually reached out to him. Personally. Yes. They need to be a caretaker of these. They're going to places. We've been keeping them in hiding, and we now know that the world is ready to see them.
Yeah, these crystal skulls have taken on an immense personality and energy.
I see. How many skulls do you have?
We have over 100 collected right here at the ranch.
And
so we call this Crystal Skull Ranch.
Oh, I like that. It kind of goes with the whole bit. So with these skulls, do you have them locked in a safe, or they're crystal? And I'm going to put up a couple of different ones here that I don't know if this is in your collection or not, but they're just so
they're very safe.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
They're all safe. We'd love for you to show the photos. They're elongated skulls.
Yep.
These skulls are not your typical human-shaped skulls. They have an elongation to the top of the cone head or elongation to the back. Right. Much like the beings that you were talking about that this crash landed.
Yeah, much like that.
About 8 feet tall would be about the right measurement. So it sounds right that they did land there.
So you
a
think
lot of the images on these skulls look like them.
Now I've got one here. It's kind of different. This is really looks like a lot of crystal in this one. I don't know if you can see the picture they just put up. Now I've seen some of these skulls on the internet, eBay, and all that other stuff, but those are man-made skulls.
Right. Those are manufactured skulls.
Yeah.
There's a big phenomenon going on around where people are now getting into crystals and learning about the power of crystal skulls. So obviously, when you have something as big as a massive power like crystal skulls, people are going to make copies, replicas, or anything.
Huh.
They're all crystal, they're all powerful, but we tend to have our ancient.
Now, there's a lot of energy comes off these skulls, correct? And these crystals.
Yes.
I mean,
crystals emit quite a bit of energy.
Mm-hmm.
They often reflect the energy of the host.
The person that holds the crystal or owns the skull?
Yes.
Right.
They seem to amplify the frequency of the individual.
Yeah.
Now, these crystal skulls, though, I'd say personality, they have messages. They have messages, and they say, we have messages for humanity.
Interesting. And the person that's going to give this message to us, that's the owner, the keeper of the skull, or how does that work? I mean,
well, the story goes that long ago, before Aztecs and Mayans, that there was a creator race or creator being that did help orchestrate the evolution of humanity. And in that, they did impart themselves into crystal skulls and to help carry through until a time of now, where we are ready for the next phase. And to really just keep humanity going in the right direction. They're
benevolent.
They're benevolent, and they can see the future and the past and the present all at the same time. So they've been playing this for quite a while. And we know that we are fickle creatures in the sense that we tend to turn to fear when there's anything outside of our realm of knowing. So it's time for us to start opening up the knowing to people, so when they do have them laying in their backyard or they see them in the sky, they don't run in fear or shoot at them. They open their arms and their eyes and are happy to keep moving forward.
Interesting. Now, most of your skulls come from where? Mexico?
Yes.
Okay.
Near Tula, Mexico.
Okay, by the pyramids there.
Near the ancient pyramids. They call it the Valley of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
The Cradle of God.
Mm-hmm. Been there. Interesting. This reminds me of Indiana Jones, you know. I mean, in the skulls they had them all lined up. And do they work that way? I mean, I know it was television, but I mean.
Well, we've had some phenomenal experiences bringing together groups of these skulls, where we have gridded them, we placed in a certain manner, and phenomena happens in the sky, like CE5. So you've got different images that will appear, colors that will stripe across the sky.
Yeah.
And one particular evening, we had a flyer and the crystal skulls out, and then all these formations came into the sky, frames, if you will, black shapes. It looks just like petroglyphs that I've seen all over Arizona and Mexico. All right, the sky started to show up as petroglyphs.
Yeah.
These images, and then you could see lightning in the distance started striking the sky. We came in from the fire, and a massive storm broke out, and lightning struck a tree that was very near our fire, and a giant explosion, kaboom! And this gigantic post oak was split in half right in my backyard, right after this group of crystal skulls were shown to the sky. So we don't know. We're just learning.
It was incredible, and what Greg is describing is using the energy of the skulls for weather phenomenon and contact. We also hit on how Indiana Jones uses it. I love the part in the movie when they bring the crystal skull in front of him and have him sit in front of it, and he starts to have an experience by looking at it with his eyes.
And this happens with a lot of people.
So, yes, certain skulls, not all of them, are powerful enough to start triggering this experience in people. And we've had some very highly spiritual, trained people go in the crystal skull with no guidance.
No guidance. No history. They don't know anything about it.
And they come out saying, I feel a presence of a being here, I feel that they are here to help us. They are not dangerous in any way. And we've had multiple channelers sit down in front of different skulls, and they all come out with pretty much the same message.
It's beautiful.
So it's like they're to teleport of some way, communication porthole. These skulls act like that. Is that what you're saying to me?
They seem to, yes.
Okay.
Seems to be like an intergalactic telephone sometimes.
Some type of
It's really funny, but it does work.
I love it. I'm going to try to get down there to see you folks and experience this with you. We have a mutual friend, and I deeply want to do this. This communication, it's telepathic, correct? Have you ever had a materialization or something like that happen?
Okay, so it is telepathic. Some channelers will see it in their mind, like a movie, or you will hear the message auditory through your ears. Some just get sensations, feelings of warmth in certain parts of their body, and then later in the night they will have dreams.
Yes, the image of the particular skull may appear to them in their dreams, giving them more guidance, and a lot of people are drawn to come right back to the skull and see it again.
Now, with these visions that this person may have, do they actually see a physical person or entity?
Yes, they'll see, it's like contact. They will feel the presence of the person or the being in their room. They will see what they look like, and they look not like us.
Right.
And they will either be doing some sort of energy healing work on them with their devices, or they will be just, kind of giving them a message.
Often just observing.
And then what's beautiful is everyone after having these experiences, their life seems to tremendously get better.
Right.
Now, I've noticed that you have different sizes of skulls. Is the power different because of the size? Or?
Oh, that's a great question, Glenn. It has to do with the type of crystal and the amount of information inside of the skull, because some of our smaller skulls, which are, say, the size of a small child's cranium, are the most powerful skulls, information-wise.
Wow.
Other skulls will be more powerful in their personality and direct messages like, you have to do this now in order to keep us on the right timeline, and just very direct orders.
And we have a giant cupola skull, and it's hilarious, and shows fun and comedy and laughter, and it's obvious through the imagery on this human-shaped skull that they're talking about humor. And
that's okay.
So there's a lot of stories inscribed in these skulls.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that. I know you've sent me these. Some of these have drawings on these skulls and information or maps, or I don't know what they are. Let me go to commercial. Let me go to a commercial real fast, and we'll get back right out of it. Okay. And so everybody stand by, because we're going to learn more about these skulls. And I'm telling you, oh man, to talk to a skull, messages, I'm into that.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more, or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before. cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And I am back, everybody, to recap. We're talking about crystal skulls. And I have Greg and Kristi on the line. And is it Krista, Kristi? Would you say that? Kristi?
I'm Kristi.
Okay,
And this
all
is
right.
Greg.
Because I got several Kristis and Chris's in my life. And you all spell it differently,
My
to tell
name's
the truth.
Christina. It's tricky sometimes.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, you know. Anyway, so here we are. We're talking about skulls. And you've seen, you know, Raiders of the Last Ark and Indiana Jones. And I'm sure you folks out there in the listening audience know what those skulls are all about. They're supposed to have power. They're supposed to have energy, knowledge, and they can communicate with you. And I want to learn more about that in this show. Now, I asked you earlier about the skulls that had markings on them. What are those markings?
Okay, great question, and thanks again for having us on.
My pleasure.
This is amazing. The markings are stories. Often they're almost like caricatures and gestures of action by deity. So a lot of these depict kind of spirit beings with elongated skulls, hovering, and also Egyptian style markings.
Yeah, I can see
They
that.
are showing ancient languages,
Uh-huh.
uniform, hieroglyphs, even possible ancient language before that. So it could be very important to study. Also, these beings have wings, elongated skulls, big eyes, showing them coming from other planets, possibly Saturn, the Eye of Horus. So lots of Egyptian references that could possibly tie these items to the ancient pyramids in Egypt and other sacred sites all over the world.
Right.
Yeah. Boy,
Really
it's
like a key.
incredible drawings. I can see a lot of Egyptian there. Yeah, that's very obvious. And
Ra,
let me go down.
Isis, Osiris,
Yeah.
Anubis.
And how many of these do you have that have writings on them? And
Probably half of our skulls have these inscriptions.
Okay.
We have about 10 to 15 quartz crystal skulls that are highly activated with inscriptions on them. Then we also have a variety of tablets, chessboards, ancient boxes, portals,
Pine cones,
so many other
handbags,
pieces.
ancient handbags,
Staff.
Really?
staffs with crystal skulls,
Wow. So
magic kits.
wow. Kind of tell you how to work it, type of thing.
Well, that's a possibility that there's
You can understand it, I guess, huh?
If you can understand it, if you can read these languages.
Right.
And some of the crystal skulls tell me that they have 18 languages, 18 dimensional languages.
Have you taken
embedded within them.
Have you taken a professor or someone of language that would know what these say?
We need to find the right person.
Right. So in part of my hero's journey, I encountered a lot of fenced-in areas that says danger, do not enter, U.S. government.
Uh-oh.
All right. Right next to sacred sites. Some of these fenced-in areas appeared to be pyramids. Okay.
Okay.
And I had visions of these crystal skulls 4 years ago in traveling Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, in and around the Pueblos. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we believe America already knows about these items and that they are harnessing items and keeping them kept away.
Like at the end of Indiana Jones with Area 51 and all the boxes.
There's all the boxes in the movie in the warehouse. All these beautiful artifacts that we really want to help try and get a way to find somebody that can help us get these artifacts brought to light and the real study going on, what human purpose is here and where we're going.
that is a just thing that you're trying to do. It's really neat. But I'm worried about who would like to take those and say that these belong to us now. One of this type,
Right,
so, and that's what
we got to find the right person.
Right.
To
So
translate for us.
this is our first public appearance.
Oh well, thank you.
We yes.
We've been trying to just study on our own, find a few people that we trust, but we're now opening it up to you and to the listeners here that if they know of anyone, that we're open to reaching out to certain people and communicating with them through our email.
And helping us understand this.
Yeah.
Supporting the process.
Wow, it's incredible. You got to be careful on this because I don't trust the government. I don't trust any of these people. I mean, we have to, maybe it has to be a very private group that opens us up to certain people, and someone's going to do some background and what have you about that person that's going to be handling these skulls. You mentioned earlier about loaning them out or to learn what have you, but I don't know, man. I would be very afraid to do that. Of course, you're just the keepers of these skulls.
Right.
You're right. We do need to keep them safe. So the best that we could think of is that we travel to an area and have a mass meditation with a group of people that all get to study it while we're all there and see what happens. See if we can get contact.
Yeah, cryptologist, someone that we would know it's in science that would love to get into this and share with you. Wow. I'd like to open the lines up. See how many calls we get. You may get 10, 1, 3, or whatever, but I'd love to have these people ask you questions and as much as you know. And I find this very fascinating. I'm going to show some more of these skulls up here. I want you to come down here where you're holding one up. Okay, there you go. Now I see you here holding one up by a lake or waterfall.
Yeah, we are at a Japanese tea garden doing a meditation there with one. She's my baby. She's pretty small, so she's easy to take with us. She's very powerful, but her personality is more bubbly, ready to communicate, ready to do the work.
We travel with these crystal skulls. Yes.
Now, do you put them in a special bag or
phone
boxes?
Bags. They got all special cases.
God, I bet. Scary. Wow. I mean, scary. I wouldn't even happen to them. That's like carrying around.
It's hard to go with more than 2 or 3 at a time.
Now, do they ever light up by themselves?
They do change. They change constantly. So it depends on what light and energy they're exposed to how they illuminate. And a lot of it's a very slight illumination, and some of them are drastic illumination, and they change.
Or if you know crystals, some of them will show rainbows in them. So if you leave them alone and don't interact with them, they'll become sort of darker. And then when we start to use energy and just watch it, the rainbows and sparks and shine start glowing.
And often I'm observing one, and I'll see faces appear within the fractal marks.
Right.
Yeah, always the faces.
Now, some of these look alien to me. The long back head. Elongated, skulls. And of course, there was a tribe out there like that, I understand. Let's see here. Yeah, that's quite interesting. And the difference from the color from green to white to pink to brown. That's interesting too. These are different types of crystals, correct? Or
a lot of different types of crystals. There's quartz, there's fluorite, selenite.
Wow. Yeah.
What goes on?
Okay.
Lapis lazuli. We've got a 65-pound lapis lazuli crystal skull that is absolutely gorgeous.
Some people resonate with different ones than others. So it seems to be a variation in order to reach a larger audience of people. Some people connect with quartz, some people connect with the blue, lapis lazuli. It just depends on each person.
So they do change. And do they shift change? I mean, do they physically change and size, or I mean, you say it's just the color, the
No,
glow?
it's more imagery and energy.
Okay, all right. So you notice the energy when you work with them, and all of a sudden it may be not so powerful, but now it's whatever it is. Are they like a battery?
They're kind of like a battery. We've had people down in Mexico that have these items, and they're saying they're starting to vibrate. They're starting to scoot across their tables a little bit because they're vibrating so heavily. We've had people in a room with it, and they say that they can feel them heating up. So they're emitting some sort of heat, kind of like a conduction. So it's just now starting, and crystals all over the world seem to be getting more powerful. So these are a great example of what to expect from the crystals that people have in their home. The crystals are growing in the earth. I see a huge growth in the price of crystals going up. So crystals are really like an investment right now.
Oh, it's cool. Really cool. I'm sure what you guys have. But going back to the porthole situation, how would I say this? If you had these, let's say, all lined up around you, and do you think that a porthole would open? I mean, do you think?
Yes.
You sincerely think that? That's
I mean, we've witnessed this, yes.
really. Can you tell me more about that, please?
Well, at this point, our frequency isn't high enough to use these portals. But in the sky, we'll see a circle or an oval of the formation of the clouds, if you will.
So things are changing upstairs
in the sky.
Yeah,
constantly
absolutely.
when we work with them in the atmosphere. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a type of portal, and then you can see these new energies coming through these ovals in the sky, if you will.
These would be maybe lights or maybe energy balls or something like that.
We have a lot of documentation of this.
Wow. Now I see that we talked earlier about someone getting a message and they drew a picture of something or a map of something. And I have that up now. Can you tell me more about that? It's a vision that someone had, or I don't know how that story went. If you could enlighten me again.
The vision of the being.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
There would be, I think, KRISTI said it.
They would describe their eyes as being starry, like almost like the night sky, with comets going through their eyes. Sometimes their eyes would emit like a silver cord or a silver energy beam coming out of it. That their hands have 3 fingers. So we have 5 fingers. They have 3. Their skin is not always clothed, but they're not showing any markings. They're pretty plain. And very tall.
Very tall.
Elongated head.
Often blue.
Sometimes blue. There's different types of beings. Some will take forms like a human, but just much taller, kind of like a giant. But the blonde hair, blue eyes, and English.
All right.
Seems to be like a facilitator, a communicator.
Well, I'm going to open the lines up and see how we do. This was just fascinating. Stand by.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
We're going to give the prompt line also.
Lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275. Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And how exciting can it be? I'll tell you for sure. Boy, it's a good place to be, by the way. I can see a lot of things in the sky. A lot of stuff happens in the desert, and it has its own beauty. Believe me, it really does. I'm on the line with some really cool folks that, as you recap here, I'll recap for you the Crystal Skulls. And I'm telling you, this is pretty cool stuff, man. I mean, Do you think I would have a chance of finding one of these myself? Where would I look?
One of the ancient skulls?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's not going to be in my backyard, so I'll have to go somewhere where it's.
Yeah, we have connections down in Mexico. There's caretakers of sacred land, and we can connect with them. They would need more funding to do more digs.
Right, because they're currently pulling these out of the ground.
And there's a lot more to discover.
On Indian tribal land, do you think also?
I believe so.
Here in America?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's allowed.
Well, I mean, they probably keep what they find themselves, but I'm just saying, I don't know how
Right.
it works, but I mean, if they're going to find some artifact that might be part of their culture or their tribe. I have not heard of this, but I just wonder if you have heard of that at all.
I know that I've seen lots of ancient photos, or more like 60s, 1970s photos of men making machines to do sort of like a time travel through a mirror, and they use a crystal skull as like a battery, and they hook up a few other things. I'm not a scientist that did it, I just saw the photo, and they are getting visions of people in other places. So I know that there's magic and technology to be discovered beyond words.
That's just fascinating. Now, I've had some, time travelers on, and Stephen Gibbs I had on, and he had sent me, Avery just sent me the time machine, which has a crystal goes into this well, but it's got to be it's this tall crystal, and it's interesting because of the energy and power of something. I don't know. I don't even know if it programs it or not, but I'm not going to put it on try. Trust me. I have not got that courage up yet, but fascinating how all this goes together. The vortex, the opening, the energy, and what you see and what you experience, and how much healing power is in these skulls.
We're learning about this. Some of the skulls offer a healing feeling to people. They feel parts of their bodies.
To help ease their symptoms.
They say we're barely opened up this potential.
But just like a watch that uses a teeny tiny quartz crystal to power it, it will ring it like a tuning fork at an amazing frequency. And that's just a very tiny crystal that's going to run your watch. So now to have a larger crystal run a time machine, or to have crystal skulls run med bed, that is where the healing is going to come in.
Okay. So, all right, I'm going to put this number out again.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
I can't wait. When do you think you might have a get together again? You can email me about this, but I'd like to know. I'd like to get together with you on all this. At least experience some of these skulls. A friend of mine told me, that she had an experience with one of these skulls, and they actually gave it a name.
Yes, they'll sometimes hear names for the skulls. When we get together at least once a week with the people that we have local to us that we trust, and we bring different items for them to focus on that energy one at a time. So it is a long process since we have so many, but they'll get the names, they'll feel a male or female energy, they will feel that there's other energies attached to these as well. So there's the original owner with other owners that have imprinted their energy. Someone's trying to give them eternal life in some way of delivering this message of, I'm a shaman, I know how to do healing, I've been doing healing my whole time here on earth, I'm putting my energy into this crystal to help emit that healing and energy to the future generations, because I know that they're going to need it. And that's a very powerful message to get.
Oh yeah, so it's giving you the good stuff. What about animals? How do they react around these skulls?
They're fine around these skulls. My main dog, he smells all of them, and he's just fine with it.
He seems to be protective of them.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Huh. So they're telling us messages and about how to make things better on Earth, but for your body, your health, your well-being, and spiritualism. And so here you are with these skulls. And how long do you think it will take for you to openly share these with folks? I mean, you think 5 years, 2 years, or what? I mean, because you've got something very special.
I believe very soon we're setting them up in Kerrville, Texas, to be shared more, and
within the next 5 years, we hope to open up some centers for children to learn, for spiritual learning,
right,
integrating in the crystal skulls. We'd love to have centers opened up for the next 5 years.
Like we're kind of aiming at a mystery school, and Kerrville is the point of the eclipse.
There's going to be a very important total solar eclipse in April 2024 in Kerrville, Texas, where we will be setting them up and doing the meditation for the total eclipse. And it's interesting because just this past year, there was another eclipse at that location. So it's kind of like an X marks the spot on the map for the two eclipses past. And it just seems like a very divinely orchestrated time that we do need to be there with skulls. And there's going to be lots of people there, like 100,000 people, I think, are coming in.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great. Gosh. Well, I can imagine you could be traveling to all these different conventions and all sorts of stuff with this too. And some of the document the experiences with each of these skulls would also be interesting. What does this one do, and what did it do? What's its history, and what did you learn about it? Who is it? Yeah, the owner. You got me.
We're just learning. We're at the foundation of experiencing what they have. Apparently, they show up here at about 5% activity.
Okay.
And after they're with the other master skulls and over this ancient cave system, they become very active. And a lot of these are at 45 to 65% aware, if you will.
Yeah.
And with the solar flare activities, it seems that they are increasing in power. And then so on a darker day where it's more hazy, where we can have these flares or winds clouding the sky and keeping the sun hidden, they'll become more quiet and calm down. So they do have a direct reaction. Sun and sky and this land here.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is there any type of magnet activity out of these skulls at all? Have you tried any certain magnets with it at all? Or, I mean,
magnetic?
Yes.
Yes, we have a chessboard that has somewhat of a magnetic field. It's not an actual magnet. It's a crystal piece on a crystal stone board, and some of the pieces are drawn to certain squares on the chessboard, like a magnet. Other magnetics would be when you put a piece back together, so it has a lid, pieces in it, the pieces will almost be magnetic to their spot.
Yeah, they want to go back in where they came from.
And it has to be a certain way. It can't be flipped around. It'll still get a negative reaction where it pushes away. It's like when you flip a magnet over. So it does have a little bit of magnetic shift.
It's interesting.
We're just learning the magic of these.
Yeah. So have you ever taken a compass and touched these on their heads or gone around if they did anything? I mean, I'd be checking everything out. That's something. Yeah.
We've used EMF meters around these glitch computers. They different times they'll read differently, but they definitely have a huge charge. They also show an aura in a lot of photographs. They'll show energy emitting from them, and they affect the cell phone camera greatly.
So with certain lights, certain black lights, not all black lights, some of them will begin to glow, like a bioluminescent green glow, and the patterns and the writing of them will be glowing, not the whole piece, but just parts of the designed.
Different lights show up as different imagery. So if you use a red light or a green light or a blue light, it will show a different group of images as well.
Yeah.
And these are some of the languages. Languages may be a caricature language.
Right. Yeah. Certain things light up.
More of a Gaia linguistic.
But I'll tell you, when that thing starts glowing, I'm up out of my seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And the more you pay attention to them, the more they illuminate. All right. That's the phenomena, is that attention makes them more bright. And if they're sitting in a corner covered in dust, they're just a thing. But once humans interact with them, they become bright and more visible.
You can feel it.
And you can feel it.
Now, have you had these in water at all, and see if there's any temperature change at all?
I'll try that. We use water activating crystals in part of our crystal activation process.
Yeah.
Some of these crystal skulls have requested to be misted with water or lightly brushed. They may have a little bit of a material on them that they want off. And so they let us know, basically, each crystal skull has its personality and has requested it.
But a lot of these were unearthed, so they still have the natural dirt on them from the area. It seems as if that they were either in a mudslide or a volcanic eruption had buried them at their altars and at these sacred sites, and they've been in the earth for a long time. So when you pull them up, they have natural erosion on them. They have the dirt still in every crevice of it. So we very lightly clean it.
Right.
And we just leave it as natural as possible.
Huh, it's great. Now, how do you store these right now? Are you do you store them in boxes or in a basement, or don't tell me where, but I mean, is it on a shelf, or because I see some on shelves?
On shelves, in boxes. The crystal skulls, we have nice shelves where they are all arranged together because they do like to be together. Things like we put them together and they become more powerful.
And they're happier.
And it helps activate other skulls as well.
Fascinating.
We have to keep them covered. Can't have too many of them looking.
Like in Indiana Jones, she covers the skull to have it calm down and let Indy have a breath.
Well, the Mitchell Hedges skull, they had to keep it in the closet for like 15 years.
Right. So
they kept talking. They covered it.
Yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. Have you noticed any changes in your atmosphere and your realm with these skulls at certain hours of the night or anything like that? You know?
Oh, definitely. They'll wake us up to give us messages. I do believe there's a big connection with the planet with these. So the energies will shift different times, and it's very powerful here on ranch with all of these items.
Seems as if we have like 300 different types of new clouds floating around here. We'll have some clouds that just come in real close and linger there for about a day and then just scoot off and scoot away. There's different colors in the sky. The sun looks more magnificent. The sun almost feels healing while you're in the presence of these. So it's maybe interacting with the elementals in the solar system in order to bring us to higher awakening and healing, closer to spirituality, closer to God.
Closer to the creator source of the planet. A lot of these depict, traveling through portals, and I'd like to cover that topic about what is depicted on these skulls and on these arts. They're showing passing through portals. They're showing bringing energy, bringing wisdom from other planets that are in our solar system, and doing some type of an arrangement in the atmosphere that produces a result.
So opening a portal, bringing in a gift, maybe seeds for new foods for humanity, maybe fresh tools to enhance our technology.
Some of them show circuit boards.
They look at our
really?
technology.
That's interesting.
Like laughable because we can go so much further.
Circuit boards.
Circuit boards. Some of the latest pieces look like, I guess you could say, Metacron's cube or with circuit boards. A lot of the crystal skulls have the Aztec lines
looked at
that look like circuit boards.
Yeah, that's interesting. This one right here that I have up, that's kind of reminds me of a circuitry. of some sort. Interesting. Gosh. Let me throw the number out there again, see what we get.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Crystal skulls. Boy, I'd like to have one. See, I really would. See what would happen, to tell you the truth. I asked you guys about the crystal that I have and how to clean that. Can you give anybody some advice about how to clean the crystals?
How to activate your crystals?
Yeah, activate them and clean them, I guess, or recharge them. I don't know.
I recommend clear lemon water, like clear spring water with a little lemon juice, and you just lightly brush them with a paintbrush and give them attention, and then look at them closely and see what comes to the mind. And then really the human interaction with the crystal activates it to the ability of the person who has it. It'll come up to your vibration.
And all crystals like to go outside, so if you're feeling your crystal is not getting good energy for you, it's not doing its purpose, then you need to get outside, put it in the sun or the full moon and charge it up. You could also make moon water, where you take the water and place it in the moonlight, and then the next day you have charged water that you can place on your crystal. Just like Greg said, put a little lemon on it. They love that.
And they like to be have a pendulum over, and the energy from your hands can transfer through the spinning of the pendulum and help bring up the energy back into the crystal.
What about
pride of sharing of energy?
What about a Christian cross? That work?
Well, I was raised Catholic, and I had a cross that I wore every day that was blessed by the pastor, and it did hold energy because I focused on it, I prayed with it, and it did work.
It can be a great pendulum, yes.
So just like any religion, you have to put energy and time into your prayers. You have to put energy and time into your crystals.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's going to ask me about that. That's why I mentioned it. Thank
you for that.
Yeah, but that's interesting. So we covered the water thing of the stars. With the stars, well, we have these flares, sun flares, and what have you. I know in radio we have all sorts of skip and cool DX, and the radios work unbelievable. So I would think that these skulls would pick that up also on a super hit from the sun's flares. Do you think so also? You think so too? Okay. Yeah, that would be a charge for them, I would think.
They also like to, a lot of these skulls come from caves.
Okay.
And they like to be near caves.
So we're planning on going to a cave out of Maine here in Texas and taking crystal skull down there, maybe playing some music, doing some singing crystal balls, getting them frequencies, do a little meditation, connect with the earth.
And also to offer contact, because each time we do this, we feel like we make contact.
Okay.
And we ask to help cleanse the earth in a way that humans need to still live here. There's wildfires going on everywhere. We've done a meditation where we ask for the wildfires to please calm down, keep the air breathable for us, and to help us grow with the earth as she changes, to help keep us growing and changing as well.
Is there a way that anybody that can get a hold of you folks, like is there a blog or something like that they could write to you folks about these crystal skulls or have questions at
Crystal Skulls 369 at gmail.com. Email.
We'd love to hear from you.
We're on TikTok. Crystal Skulls 369.
369, okay. And what does 369 mean?
Well, 369 is in reference to Tesla, and if you understand that the universe works in energy, vibration, then all the secrets are unlocked.
Yes, and And I feel that Tesla channels through some of these crystal skulls as well. And so that was just like a download.
Yes. I'd heard that he had was looking into some stuff like that. What an incredible smart
He was
man.
definitely unlocking all the secrets of the universe.
Yes.
And
Right.
we feel that the crystal skulls are going to offer us assistance unlocking the secrets of the universe.
Or the Rothschilds taken down.
Yeah. Well, I've known some folks that were healers that would take crystals and wrap them with copper and all sorts of stuff, and the energy was unbelievable. So, yeah.
Yes, there's a huge movement in the spiritual community using more and more crystals and finding new types of crystals and using their energy.
Well, listen, I give that information out one more time, would you please?
Crystal Skulls with an S at the end, 369 at gmail.com.
Okay, good.
Give us an email. We would love to hear from you, asking your questions. We'll respond to you. We're open to sharing some pictures and your insights about it. We also have TikTok, which is Crystal Skulls 369. Look us up. You'll see the skulls. You can't miss it.
Good, and I'll make sure I have this information if someone's call and ask, need that information. Craig, KRISTI, thanks so very much for being on the show, and I hope that you enjoyed your time with us, and hope that we can have you back. And boy, what a voyage you guys are going to be on! I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting, and I would like to hear more about it. How far you go, what you find out. Yeah, it's a learning curve here, but wow, it's you've got it though. You have them. You're not starting.
And we can't wait to share them with the world.
That's
If
beautiful.
you wanted to come on here and maybe help open some people's eyes, let them know that contact is possible and that it's been around for a long time.
Yes.
We hope to be back again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Right. Well, again, thank you so very much, and we will be in contact. I guarantee it. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye. There you have it, crystal skulls. Well, I've heard of it and I believe it. That energy is very special. Gosh, it's mind-boggling, the energy that you can get out of these things, and it really works if you're in tune, if you have the energy, I guess. But like I say, this show, we keep our minds open and we learn. Yeah, we do. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Glenn Larry Hour, Glenn Larry Show. And I want to thank, let me do this. Let me grab this right here. I just say hello to a couple of people. Say hello to my buddy down there. Oh, Pioneer Saloon. Boy, I had the greatest sandwich today down there. And I visited with Tracy today and had a great time. And you get a chance, stop on by, say hello to them down there. Since 1913, the Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. A lot of fun and great food. I go down and eat my lunch, and it's very, very good. I want to say hello to Ed out there. I don't know if he's listening. I did get a call from you, Ed. Neil and Barbara over there in London. Randy and Chief Hall over there in Pennsylvania. Dee and Ken. Either they're, I think they might be Florida right now. Yeah, good people, I'll tell you for sure. But we want to thank you guys for supporting us. Don't forget to go to YouTube and make sure you subscribe and like our show. Keep us going. And of course, you can see what we have coming up here on our screen as I put it up again. I got some comments. That's nice. Yeah, good. We'll respond back to you. But again, thank you so very much. Be well, play well, have fun. See you next Tuesday. The Galactic Federation. Yeah, Captain, I'm going to have him on again. Quite interesting man. And that's going to be an interesting show. But again, thank you so much. Be well. I am Glenn Larry. God bless. Be well.